had the desire to know how the minds work, how people think and
Yeah.
stuff like that? Since when?
Well, I mean, just how the mind work, that's something that I've been wondering about probably since I was 11,
11.
10, 11. Yeah, yeah. I do remember I was in a summer camp and I somehow started walking with some other kid and we started thinking about sort of like talking about things and you just like forget, like suddenly that I forget the time and we're just talking about the minds and how people behave, and I found it fascinating. So like those type of conversations. Um, but you know, if you ask me, like again, like did this lead to wisdom research? No, it could have led to me becoming a counselor or a social worker or a philosopher. Some people think I'm a philosopher, but and then they're disappointed that I'm actually using empirical methods and scientific methods. Uh, but I don't know. I mean, some people say, well, the path to wisdom leads through adversity. So if you seem to have experienced a few things in your life, like, okay, sure. So is that the reason why you study wisdom? It's like, no. And this was all very serendipitous. Um, I mean, understanding the mind and understanding how to make difficult decisions and foresight and be open-minded to different experiences, potentially not judging others right away. All those things, yeah, I mean, if that's what wisdom is about, yeah, I've been interested in them partially because of my personal history for a while. But like the topic of wisdom, that label, that came totally serendipitously, and that specifically when I came to Michigan and then I wanted to do research on culture, the person I reached out to who was sort of the leader at that time, he's retired by now, but the leader in the god of social psychology who was actually interested in cultural research. So naturally I came to him and I said, okay, I want to do culture and I'm free. You don't even have to pay me. I'll just do things for you. Just tell me what to do. Tell me.
Oh,
And he's like, how about wisdom? It's like, okay, sure, sign me up. And I mean, it has nothing to do with culture, but I mean, I started appreciating the connection a bit later. So what he was doing, what he was studying, and how that connects to wisdom. So he gave me that sort of as a task, as a first task, and so I started developing it with some colleagues, and one thing led to another. But of course, I mean, I since then have put in my own interest in sort of like understanding the mind, understanding how people think and reason, understanding challenges. Certainly put it in the research on wisdom, maybe more so than before. But yeah, a lot of serendipity.
wow. So how long did you work with him on the research of wisdom?
Well, I didn't work with him. I worked mostly with my colleagues. He was there, and then he was gone. Uh, and we had a lot of freedom. Let's put it this way. He sort of like gave us the direction, and then um, we did things mostly uh, by ourselves. Then later, I mean, that's not entirely true. The first project was with him, of course. So he was my PhD advisor. So I was with him for the next 5 years. But as I said, I ended up also working with other people because I tried to expand my horizon. And because he was gone for at least 2 years, in North American academia, you have this concept of sabbatical, and he being a senior, very famous person, took on several of those sabbaticals. I think I came in the moment when he was about to retire, and he would
Oh.
have probably retired, but then I was kind of, very exciting, and so he, maybe out of pity, said, "All right, I'll stay on, but I will be gone for 2 years." So,